carpet.
Can I have my microphone back?
Of course you can.
There you go. How are you? How are you enjoying the premiere?
Bit chilly, I must say, but I'm glad you're here. How are you doing? You okay?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm good. You enjoyed that walk so far?
Do you know what? We're nearly there. We're nearly in the cinema watching the movie, so yeah, excited.
How do you find this reaction wherever you go around the world, that the fans are intense?
Every place we've been to has been slightly different. New York was very subdued, Tokyo was crazy, Wellington was long. London, there's just something about bringing this home. This is where I trained as an actor. This is where I spent most of my career, so it's really special to me. I thought that I was going to be very emotional, and I am.
A bit crying now would be great.
Later, after a few drinks.
Later. What does it mean, the fact it's a royal premiere this evening?
It's so special. They don't turn out for any old film, so I think it's a real honour, and I'm quite nervous about meeting him. I don't know what to say. I hope I don't do a Mr. Bean and headbutt him.
But you shave for the occasion at least.
I know. I thought that's pretty special. I need to light a match later so I can have a cigarette.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Enjoy. All right. Take care.
I've got to ask you, because I feel you've got kind of like an inside scoop here. Why don't we ever see any female dwarves in these movies?
You absolutely are. You do see female dwarves, and within the first 30 seconds of the film, you're going to see female dwarves, and they too have beards.
Oh, so they look the same as men.
I think, yeah, that's going to be the new look for the spring season. Is going to be female beards.
I love it. So great talking to you. Best of luck and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
The trailer actually features some singing from all the dwarves.
You're not going to ask me to sing, are you?
No,
you're not going to.
No. Next year, though, your voice is going to be famous.
We'll do the pop version.
Is there going to be a lot of singing? Is it going to be kind of like a little bit more musical than, the Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, and there are other songs in it, which I was kind of hoping for, but I thought, well, are they going to shy away from that? Because, but I think the culture of the dwarves, the dwarves are kind of raucous, naughty, dirty, filthy beasts, and when they party hard. So there's a few drinking songs in there. Yeah.
What makes a good drunk?
A smelly dwarf makes a good drunk, and boy do we smell.
The line.
It was a 3-hour process every morning, because each prosthetic, you put it on, you take it off, and you chuck it in the bin. So it goes on and off every day. But I actually found it like it was part of my process of getting into character, is watching the characters sort of forming in front of you. But it was a bit of an endurance test, and if you drink too much alcohol the night before, the face actually starts to fall off about midday, because it comes off with alcohol. So I had to really work hard to restrict my alcohol intake.
That's a nice look.
Yeah, as it starts to slide.
What a show today. The countdown to The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey, is on. It hits theaters on December 14th, and today we get a chance to talk with one of the film stars. Please welcome, it's our honor to say hello to Richard Armitage.
That's the Canadian way.
I love, yeah, you have to dip.
How do you think Thor would fare in our world today?
I think he'd probably be a bit of a hellraiser, actually. I think he would be, he'd be arrested.
In no time flat.
In no time flat, yeah. He just doesn't suffer fools, and he'd
bar brawls.
He'd drag that sword out and be sort of flashing it around, and he'd be, wrestled to the ground. Well, they'd attempt to, so. I was a big fan. I read it when I was 11, and then I was in a stage production when I was about 13, and I played an elf. And I was dressed in sort of wool that had been sprayed to look like chainmail, and Gollum was paper, and the dragon was like a red light with smoke, because they didn't have enough money. So coming back to it a few years later, it was pretty much identical to that production.
I think so. Yeah. I think so. But except now, instead of being an elf, you have a guy that's got the longest grudge ever with an elf.
And the longest hair ever.
Yes.
Yeah. And actually for Thorin as well, it's very much a journey where he has a thread of corruption in him that he knows about greed. Yeah. I mean, could there be anything more relevant at the moment of the corruption of greed? And he knows it exists in him, and he's, his grandparents suffered this terrible dragon sickness, so God, it's sounding really serious, isn't it? It's actually a really fun movie. It's about dwarves drinking and telling...
a lot of bare feet flopping around and throwing food at each other. It's definitely a food fight. Let's play.
Luckily, we had this dwarf boot camp, which really was a boot camp because they brought these massive boots in on the first day and we all had to wear them.
You were trained how to move.
We started from the feet down and we worked upwards, and Terry Notary, who is the most incredible movement director, he brought in this weight belt with a weight on it, and he said, okay, so dwarves have gonads that are made of stone, and that's where you start. So start your dwarf in that place and work upwards.
I mean, I can't really
yeah.
imagine that,
So
What was it like working with this huge cast of all the other dwarves and the Hobbit and Gandalf?
Did you mess up their names too?
You know what, it did. I always got Philly and Killy the wrong way around, but I did work out a way of figuring it out. Killy means cute. Philly, I can't tell you what that one means, but you can imagine.
Talk about music there. I wanted to ask you, because it would be really nice if we could play something. I was just thinking what you would do at the end of your day when you go into the trailer. What goes on first? Beatles, Stones? I don't know what.
The top of the wine bottle came off first on most days, and the music of Pinot Noir dribbling into a crystal glass was mainly what I listened to at the end of the working day.
Good answer. Some would say that's the best sound in the world.
It's definitely the best sound.
A delight to meet you. Thank you so much, Richard.
Voice is the realisation that we have something in common. He's obsessed by the ring, and I'm obsessed by the sizes of the actors, weapons and trailers. JK. The faux hammer. Sword?
I know.
Did you have any jealousy
at all? I do have the biggest sword in all of the dwarves. I'm sorry, you can cut that out. No, Tolkien's sword is legendary. He names his weapons. I name my weapon too. No, why do you do this to me?
Sorry.
Don't do this to me. It's because you're a brummie, that's why.
Actually, because the joy of having home entertainment releases and Blu-rays is the fact that there's loads of stuff that we didn't get to see, behind-the-scenes stuff, bloopers, blah, 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 that you can shove on there as extras.
Yeah. Are there bloopers? Oh, no.
Well, it's that kind of thing, but is there something that you think that happened on set that we will never see on a blooper, but you do have to tell me about?
Oh my goodness. Possibly me vomiting into a bucket after the escape from the Goblin tunnels, because we were so hot and tired, and I remember coming around the corner and taking a massive gulp of water and then throwing it up. Hopefully that's not on the DVD.
Okay, that's a beautiful image.
I remember one of my great childhood memories. Fellowship of the Ring came out when I was in 8th grade, and from then on, freshman year and sophomore year, I didn't mean it like that.
How old did that make me? Yeah, I was in 8th grade too.
Okay, exactly,
yeah.
exactly. And my folks took me out of. I got to skip school that day. They took me out of school so I can go see each one of those movies on the first day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What was your great childhood cinematic memory growing up?
I think it was The Spy Who Loved Me. That really does give it away.
You're not old enough to.
No, I think it was like I was 7 years old and I wanted to go see Bambi, but it was sold out. So we had to go and see The Spy Who Loved Me, and I absolutely loved it and never looked back.
I was a good call.
It was a good call.
Good call on that one.
Yeah.
My friend.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
It's taken another direction. This is a fan video that was made for you that I'm curious to get your response to this. In individual moments, right? Let's put your mic back on here.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Yes.
Look, when you...
Don't talk about the Speedos.
No. At some point, are you at that stage of your career where you can look at wardrobe and go, I'm not wearing that?
It's a bit more tracksuit. Tracksuit. Yeah. We used to have a bit more in a tracksuit. Yeah. And, but Richard's front is completely finished. I'm practicing the walk. Richard,
I've got a copy of The Hobbit, which we're all going to sign in a minute, and auction for quite so rather.
So if you put 13 dwarves in one space, do you think that that's about the worst smell you could possibly get?
Yeah, absolutely. And we were always in one space.
So nasty!
It's revolting, but yeah, that's a dwarf for you. they'd have a tent which was air conditioned and they'd zip you into it, and I'm convinced it was nothing to do with keeping us cool, it was just to do with keeping that stench inside a hermetically sealed room. Cinema magic.
Totally, and it should be in smell-o-vision.
Scratch and sniff.
Yeah, absolutely. Next one?
The next one, it probably will be.
Fantastic.
Nope. Yeah, I had a dream last night that I got lost outside the cinema and couldn't find my way in, so I hope that doesn't happen. But yeah, I mean, my character is the heir apparent to the throne of Erebor, so I might have a bit of inspiration from William.
And it's in freezing cold London as well.
Do you know what? It's actually not that bad. I thought it was going to be icy, but there's so many people here and there's so much kind of love in the room. That sounds awful, doesn't it? No, it's great. I'm great.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks. No, I think you're right. I think beards are going to rock this season, and I think furry boots with massive steel toe caps are going to be all the rage. Let it all go. No more waxing.
Absolutely. But how far does it go? Are you not allowed to talk to elves off camera?
We can talk to elves off camera. It's just we don't like doing that because elves are, you know, strange beings who float around in silvery gowns, and dwarves like to drink and throw food around. So we're poles apart, really.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I don't think dwarves were very comfortable in Bag End at all. It was too small and too hot, and the food was good. I'd definitely book in again for the food, but I didn't really want to stay that long. And the host was a bit of a whinger, and he fainted as well, so it wasn't a good start.
Would you mind signing?
Yeah, I'll do this. Good, how are you? Good. Can I just borrow your phone?
Yeah, I can stop that.
There you go.
Hi, Richard.
Which cake?
Richard.
Get this other poster, Richard.
Pretty long.
Thanks.
Are you forgetting this gentleman down?
Richard, get the other poster.
Richard right here, the 8 by 10.
Richard, good.
Richard down there. Richard down here.
You've got a whole pile of them.
Richard down here.
Thanks, guys.